had a guy who was grabbing his hair, pulling it out, and going, "This isn't real." A grown man, okay, in a professional setting, pulling his hair out, going, "This isn't real. I'm dreaming. I'm freaking out right now," and running around the room telling everybody what he just saw. It was ridiculous. It was probably one of the most powerful magic, reactions I've had in recent years. Like, Cosmos, what is this? If you're looking this video up, you probably, unless you're a super fan of this channel, you probably already know what this is. I had no idea. I'm so glad I was turned on to it, though. It is a thermal printer with an app, okay? Now stay with me because this is way more powerful than it sounds on the surface, okay? This is something that I had no idea about. I had never heard of it. I have a friend out of France who said, "Hey, have you taken a look at Cosmos yet?" And I said, "Well, what's Cosmos?" Showed me all about it, and I immediately reached out to Umesh over at Black Box Magic Creations. I got so excited about this. He was kind enough to send this over for review, and now it's in my hands, and I can talk about it. The one thing I do want to talk about real quick is what makes this channel different from other channels that do reviews is I'm not just opening the box, looking at it, messing around with it for a couple minutes on my kitchen table, watching the tutorial video, and then hopping on this channel here to give my opinion. Everything that I'm talking about is based on actual use. I actually use the thing in performance at paid gigs. I test it out, I see what works, what doesn't, what I like, what I don't like, use case, all of that, and then I come back and I report on actual real world use from a professional's perspective. That's important to know. First thing you're going to get, beautiful box, beautiful packaging. You got your foil, gold, everything. Presentation is just on point. Well done, Umesh. Now, my version here is my box is messy because I've actually pulled all this stuff out and I've actually used it. But let me go through what I got in my kit and show you what you can expect, okay? So here's your USB-C charging cable. Thank you, Umesh. So many times when I see these kinds of products, they're using micro USB. That's that's probably some kind of old stock that they've had around for a million years. I'm really happy to see USB-C. Give me USB-C everything. Thank you. It's a small thing, but such an important thing. Right now I've got about 14 different cables for stuff, for different electronics. So very happy to see USB-C. Here's the wallet itself. We'll talk about that more in just a moment, okay? Of course, yes, you can use your regular white style paper. That's fine. You get a big, decent roll of it. The thing is, I've used mine, okay? I've used mine for testing. I've used it for some gimmick making, which I will talk about later in the video, so stay tuned for that. Might change the way that you're using your thermal printer now or encourage you to get one later, okay? So I've used a lot of this, but you get a decent, much more decent amount than this. If you run out, it's not a big deal. You can order more from him, or if you're in a pinch, you can get it from an office supply store, okay? So there's that. You also get this kind, which the camera is not going to pick this up because I have a very bright light right here. But, well, yeah, you can see the little arm in there. Isn't that wonderful? So this is lined paper. And I don't know if you can, the camera's not going to pick this up, but this is lined, okay? I hope you can see, yeah, maybe you can kind of see it. And it's lined on both sides. Of course, only one side is active, okay? Only one side works with the printer. But, man, tell me that doesn't look like that came right out of a notebook, right? It's perfect. You also get, in my kit, anyway, I think this is a special add-on. I don't think this comes with every kit. But I got the yellow, which looks a whole lot like a Post-it note, doesn't it? So you can do this on this kind of paper as well. Really looks like a Post-it note. The black on the yellow is also very visually striking. It looks very cool. And probably the most innovative and interesting one that I haven't seen anyone else do. I've researched a lot after picking this kit up. I've looked up a lot of other magic thermal printers, and I haven't seen anybody else do this. This is for a book test. There's a space every like couple of inches here. There's a little blank space where whatever word you want to appear on there can appear on there. So somebody's thinking of any word in the dictionary, lackadaisical, right? That will be the word that appears there, right? I've seen it done with highlighter. So you put highlighter on it, and it looks like, I'm so excited about this because it's so cool. It looks like it came from a magazine or a book. It has a feel like it's from either a high quality print book or from a thick magazine. It's a very nice, very custom, very cool paper to be included with this. So I really like it. It's not nonsense. It's not lorem ipsum. It's actual real words. So it actually makes real sense whenever you read the words there. So this is very cool. I like this a lot. I would expect you could just cheat and do lorem ipsum and have it make nonsense Latin words, but that's actually readable text. So this is super cool stuff. I really like this. You also get, there's so much in this package, it's ridiculous. You also get, and I don't know how Umesh over at Black Box Magic Creations did this, but you have the California and the New York Powerball tickets. And you get a little selection of each there. I'll pull these out. So you get a little bit of both, right? So that way you can perform this quite a few times before having to buy more. But, I mean, look at that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It looks like 10 of each. So that's 20 performances of a very, very incredible, very convincing lottery prediction. My goodness, I don't know how this stuff gets made, but it looks really real. If I didn't know, I wouldn't know. Now let's talk about the big piece itself here, the wallet. Yes, the wallet. So this is a really interesting device. Okay, so it looks and functions like a real wallet. You can actually put real money in there. You can put your cards in those slots there. It's got a pocket here. All of the business, it's that thick. I know plenty of guys, my own friends, who have thicker wallets than that. So if you want to just throw that in your pocket, walk around with it, no big deal. Something else I have to note, because other Magic channels have reviewed this in the past, including the Wizard Magic review, and they talked about the zipper here. Okay, so this looks like a complete redesign of that zipper. The original one, there were some complaints that the teeth were just too fine and it kept getting snagged and didn't really work very well. This is a much more robust zipper. This is not going to get snagged. I can't open that because I can't show you the gimmick inside there. But a much more robust zipper. It really, really, really is not going to get snagged up. It's not going to get messed up like the previous one, okay? Now, the cool part about having the zipper there is it adds something. When it's closed and the paper is being fed into the machine and then it's being spit out the other side, the zipper in that closed part acts as a stop, so the paper gets scrunched up against it and accordion folds. So whenever you reach in to pull it out, it doesn't look like some pristine piece of paper that's just come off of a, it's something that looks like it has been intentionally folded and is a prediction that you've had for a little while in your wallet. That's really, really, really a nice touch. I have to be honest, okay? I have not carried it around like this. I have a Magic wallet that I really like and I really use all the time. It's a card to wallet. I'll leave a link up here if you want to watch that video. But that's what I perform with. That's what people know me for walking around with, performing with. And I wasn't willing to give up the use of that card to wallet while testing this. Okay, I had to actually test this. I actually performed this many times over gigs this past weekend. Let me tell you, people, I don't want to say they pooped their pants, but they might have pooped their pants, okay? I had a guy who was grabbing his hair, pulling it out and going, "This isn't real." A grown man, okay, in a professional setting, pulling his hair out, going, "This isn't real, I'm dreaming, I'm freaking out right now," and running around the room telling everybody what he just saw. It was ridiculous. It was probably one of the most powerful Magic reactions I've had in recent years. I could not believe the level of intensity that this man had about what I did. And I will tell you about what I did later in this video. So there's a little bonus at the end. Stay tuned for that because you're going to want to see this part. Even if you already own this or are thinking about getting it, it might convince you to get one, or it might give you an idea for one you already have, okay? So this is a very powerful tool. This is something very cool. I don't think that magicians are using this to its full potential right now, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So the way that I perform this, though, is I performed with it inside my jacket pocket. In this orientation, right, I just left the zipper open, okay? And then I set it down inside my jacket pocket. And whenever I wanted to do the thing, get the prediction, I would just reach into my pocket and pull it out. It works perfectly just like that. You don't have to pull this out and do the whole zipper thing and all that if you don't want to. Umesh over at Black Box Magic Creations also sells a separate version, a case-style version of this. So if you're more interested in that as opposed to the wallet style, you might consider that as well. Think about really how you want to perform this before you just go out and grab the first thing. There's different options for different folks. You've made it all the way to the end of the video. Congratulations. I want to tell you about this really neat application. I blew away Umesh with this idea. Apparently, he's never heard of it. He's the guy who built this thing, put it on the market, and has never heard of this being done before with thermal printers. And, well, I'm going to tell you about it right now. So this is how I freaked that guy out so badly with this. It doesn't look like much, okay? But here's the thing. I use blank business cards all the time. I use them for all of my billet work. I do name place, I do fourth dimensional telepathy, I do all kinds of magic and mentalism with billets, center tears. These are common in my hands all night long. And I didn't want to go from this to suddenly a different type of material and going back and forth. I wanted this. I wanted my prediction to be printed on this. So I'll tell you what I did. This is too thick. Initially, it's too thick to go through the printer. You cannot send a business card through the printer. It is too darn thick, and it's not thermally reactive. So you might be getting ahead of me here, but here's what I did. I took this business card and I split them in half. If you ever split playing cards, it's a very similar process. You split them in half. If you want a video on card splitting, let me know in the comments. I will make a video on that. You split them in half. You take your receipt paper and you take the rough side from where it's been split. You take the receipt paper with the thermal side out and you rubber cement them together. Rubber cement here, rubber cement there. Slap them together. And then I'm lucky enough to have one of those big paper cutter guillotine things. So I just cut that perfectly square, cut any flash off until they were perfectly square. And I was left with this. This is a thermally active business card that will go through the printer. Okay. You notice I've pre-folded it too. That's not an accident. Because what I wanted is I wanted to be able to reach into my pocket and pull it out. Folded with the information on the inside. And so that's what you do. You have your thermally active paper, you put it in there just like you would any of the other paper, you do your thing, it comes out the other side, you reach in your pocket, you pull it out, fold it, and you hand it to them. Blows people away. Blows people away. If you want to add an extra step to that, you could do this a la Jay Sankey kind of thing where you take out a real billet, you jot something down on that, you fold it up, you put a paper clip on it, you set it on a table. If you know about paper clipped, I don't need to tell you anymore, but you've got a perfect illusion. You couldn't get cleaner than that. You couldn't get more impossible than that. I think that is the grand slam king of predictions, of written predictions, especially in walk-around situations. I can't believe that this is something you can do walk-around. It's incredible. It's incredible. You should definitely, if you're interested in a thermal printer, this is not only one of the most feature-rich that I've seen in terms of the app, in terms of all the things that you get with it, but also price-wise, because of the filming of this video, this whole package is only $350. And I say only, but whenever you're talking about professional magic props, $350 is nothing. It's nothing. And it comes way under the price point of something like PETA's printer or Glyph's X, which is several $1,000s. This is an incredible, incredible value. And if you're in the market for a thermal printer for your magic, I have to strongly recommend this. I think it's fantastic. I will continue to use this. It has earned its place in my pocket. So if you want to take a look at it yourself, I will leave a link in the description below where you can find it for yourself. Thank you so very much for watching this. I hope that you got some value out of it. If you did, leave me a thumbs up, an emoji, a question, like, share this with your friends on all of the appropriate magic related websites and Facebook groups. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much. Cheers.